Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of The Twist with Chaos. Of course, I am your guys' host, Mr. Chaostopia. This series basically, most of this show will specifically cover the Oklahoma City Twisters in the season, throughout the entire season. So, first things first, was good, everyone? How you guys actually doing today? And but let's go ahead and get to our order of business. Nothing too crazy to really talk about this episode. Same thing as last episode. Recap, preview. This week we are going to go ahead and really recap what happened. And that is, well, what happened versus the Dreads and Dragons. First things first, we finally got Healable to QB, which is a very good sign. Only problem is that this for the game actually in itself, it wasn't really. It was a close game, but it was an ugly game if you were to ask me personally. I mean, Oklahoma City, we did win by a final score of 31-28, but the win on stat wise though, it just felt really ugly. And here's why I'm gonna say this: looking at Healable stats, he went 18 for 34, 257 yards and 4 touchdowns. That All the completions basically is normal. Sometimes you think he'd do like 24 passes or 25, but literally completion percentage of barely above 50%. That was just bad. I mean, we didn't have a 100-yard receiver this game. Our leading guy receiving yard size was Anta Dior, who had 3 for 70. Emirates had the most catches on 7 for 64 and 2 touchdowns. ASL had himself a good game. Healable went ahead and had himself a good game. Osama basically had himself a tackle for loss. Overall, it was just a lot of things went ahead and had happen. And meanwhile, like I said, our defense, like I said, we came out to play on Sunday's drives. I mean, on the 7 drives that we saw, we saw literally Puzzler go ahead and, well, he just looked puzzled. I mean, we held him to under a 50% conclusion percentage. He just threw air lob after air lob after air lob. Dude, he wasn't clicking. 3 touchdowns against 2 picks. He did have a rushing touchdown, I believe. But yeah. Won the game basically late off of a late drive. Healable went ahead and led. He scored. Toss up basically came up short. Dito went ahead and he caught it, but it was down after 2. So that's one. While the game was close, it was very ugly. So now to this week, we now face the Jocelyn Jackrabbits. The team go ahead and quarterback none other than Isaiah, aka Confide, or Confided. Personal-wise, I know Isaiah a bit too well. I actually used to send for him in the side league. But if you're looking at Jocelyn so far, haven't really looked too bad. Looking at the stats, I mean, Isaiah went ahead and so far in 2 games, He's thrown for 1,003 yards, 13 touchdowns against 1 pick. Justin is, I believe, coming off of a loss, which was to the Panthers. So yeah, it's not like those games were literally literally horrible by any means. They basically were very close games if you want to put it that way. But yeah, we're facing off against one of the better passers in the league. If blocking wise, Nissan Skylander basically has yet to allow a sack all season. So, and to be fair, the first two matchups were against the Spartans and the Aztecs, I believe. No, the Panthers. And to be fair, for those teams, the Spartans only have one DE, which is Avery. Meanwhile, the Panthers actually don't really have that much DE, notable DE star power. They've dominated basically this season by pretty much going ahead and showing up in the passing game, in the pass defense, if you want to put it lightly. I feel like that overall, though, the Spartans, overall entering this week we're going to be dealing with that. Rushing wise, Isaiah does tend to run at times, but only when basically he has to. The really issue that we have to go ahead and take away is to make sure he holds on to the ball for a while, because unlike most quarterbacks, Isaiah, he admits it himself, he loves to throw quick. The quick pass basically is what helps him dominate and practically play correctly. Takeoff Travis is probably the number one guy to watch out for on Justin, 240 yards and 5 touchdowns. Coverage wise, yeah, it's just it's only really a lot. There's only just not really much to really talk about. This is really a offensive high-powered team. If you ask me, this game's very winnable. If you ask me, in my book, just in a situation we have a good DE core, might I add. But the problem with this is that we're facing off against Isaiah, and like I said, Isaiah, the one thing you have to take away is make sure he has a longer time he has to take longer to throw. Isaiah will throw quickly. As soon as he sees an open look, he will fire it. Now, if we go ahead and we take away those open looks early, our DEs go ahead and basically do their thing, they could probably go ahead and get some sacks this game. Another thing to really watch about is that we're probably going to be focusing a lot on their passing attack, as they have some good players in itself. Calder, Okutsu, Lorenzo, Snot, all guys that basically have shown their worth as players in this league. Like I said, if we can go ahead and we can contain those takeaways, kind of go ahead and make sure they are covered well. Overall, our pass defense really needs to show up today. We're facing loss against these teams, so defense will matter in this game. As for us, what we need to do offensively, it's literally a simple answer if you ask me, and that is, we legit just need to go ahead and just work on being consistent on offense. Healable, he had 16 incompletions and practically was under 50% for most of the game until the final drive, where he basically started to basically dissect that team. So I'm just going to note here, if we can go ahead and we can stay consistent on offense, we don't commit any mistakes, we don't fuck up a lot, I feel like we can go ahead. This is a game that is easily winnable. I think like we could win this game, not only just by like a. I'm not even talking about like a little simple shutout. If anything can play right, we could probably go have a high scoring game that could probably win by at least one or two possessions. That's all to really talk about for this week's episode. This is literally one of the quicker ones. So before we go ahead and we head out, we actually are going to be for our game versus the Twisters, as you guys can see here with this example. I'm kind of wearing on the screen. We are wearing an American basically jersey. This one is to pretty much honor our veterans that have served as it due to it being Veterans Day weekend. Also, go into easy check out all the merchandise we have down below. I have the link in the description. We also have a new sweater out. Brought to you that by the guys that went ahead and made the BCV tracksuit. So I would hope you if you guys go and basically check them out. They did a really good job. And besides that, we'll see you guys in the next episode. And hopefully, we'll actually get an interview in soon. Anyways, peace.